Heels making his first career start. He'll go up for the opening tip against Cam Corrin, who is also a game time decision but is playing for Pitt. And the Panthers win the tip. Roger Ayers, Justin Porterfield, Ryan Sassano, our officiating crew. A game that looks a lot more interesting than it did a couple of days ago. Pitt at just 2-10 in the league, and North Carolina 14-0 at home. Off the miss by Omari Witherspoon, here are the Tar Heels with his brand new starting lineup. Derek Dixon, the freshman, is the point guard again. Seth Trimble, a mainstay. Luka Bogovac returns to the lineup. Jarin Stevenson up to play a big role. And again, the first career start for Zayden High, who could not receive that pass turned over by Bogovac.
Kevin, you can imagine this team hadn't practiced much together, just with the recent decision being made with Vessar.
Pitt starting lineup as the Panthers turn it over is also down a critical player, as that ball's last touch by Pitt. No DeMarco Minor at the start for Pitt today. He is here, the Panthers starting point guard and a graduate student. He and his girlfriend welcome a baby at 1:24 in the morning. DeMarco is the proud father of a baby girl back in Pittsburgh. He has made it. He got here about an hour before the game, but he is not starting for a Pitt team that's very undermanned. And there's Zayden High, first career start. It looks like he's been doing it all year.
And to your comment about Minor, his girlfriend must be one of the nicest women I've ever met, because there's no way in the world my wife would allow me to be here.
Well, he's played for a Pitt team that played 6 players on Tuesday, plus 0.6 of a second of Kieran Mullen. Jeff Capel will take all the help he can get. He's down 3 players, as he may be for the rest of the year. Witherspoon's missed jumper is tracked down by Trimble for North Carolina.
Both teams need to defend without fouling. Monitor pace. Pittsburgh wants to slow this game down to control the pace. Carolina always wants to get up and down, force the action. Let's see if they continue to do that with a depleted bench.
Stevenson with a 3. That will help. The first 5 for the Heels, and it's the 2 bigs, High and Stevenson, who provided them.
They're not changing anything. They're still playing through their bigs. High delivering inside. Stevenson with the 3 ball there.
Witherspoon for Cam Corrin. And Corrin rattles in just his 10th 3 of the year, the 6'10 senior. The Florida State transfer in his second year with Pitt. Here's Dixon for Carolina. Tar Heels a win over Duke in this building Saturday, lost at Miami Tuesday. Joel Lunardi has them as a 6 seed right now as we hit the middle of February. Bogovac sticks a 3. Back-to-back triples for the Heels.
Front line of Pitt, they've got to get up on the level of the ball screen. Andrositis has got to fight through that. Bogovac, you don't want to give him direct line of sight to the rim.
First look at Jeff Capel on the Pittsburgh bench, trying to snap an 8-game losing streak to ranked opponents. Severely undermanned team. Deshaun Jackson has not been cleared this year due to a medical condition. Would have been their big man, 6'11 from Iowa State. Papa Conte, a backup big, knee surgery, and Brandon Cummings, their leading scorer, missing his 5th in a row with an ankle injury. Pitt goes inside here to the freshman Roman Cialepa, who had 19 against Duke on Tuesday.
If they're going to switch that ball screen, Cialepa's got to be a force inside. Took advantage of his matchup.
Bogovac drives and scores. He's got 5.
Bogavac's known more for shooting the 3, not for attacking the basket like that, but a direct line of drive. He can attack off straight line drives there. But Pitt doesn't want to foul. They don't have enough depth. They don't want to foul your UNC, everyone. Just continue to attack. Try to force the Panthers to use this bench.
Cialepa, the physical freshman from Australia, misses everything. Rebounded by High. Bogovac into Stevenson. Typically more of a shooting big. Fades away and scores it in the lane. And Carolina, without Wilson and Vessar, has hit its first 5 shots. And how about the roar of enthusiasm for the folks in Carolina blue for this undermanned squad, which is shooting the lights out early. Witherspoon on the drive, held up by High. Here come the Heels with Trimble. A little over exuberant with a dribble.
Though they're missing their 2 stars on the front line, they have to defend, take care of the basketball, and let the chips fall where they may.
Trimble is fouled, the first of the game. What a start, Randolph, for North Carolina without the still lively Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson, who? You got Jarin Stevenson inside.
Three good teams come here, Louisville, Virginia Tech, and Clemson, and then, of course, end the season at Cameron. The good news for the Tar Heels, they've done a lot of work already. They have 5 quad 1 wins as Barry Dunning misses a 3 for Pitt. Saved by DeMarco Minor, who's back off the bench. But for the Tar Heels, it is a really testy stretch run. They hope they'll have Wilson back before the end of the year. They hope they'll have Vissar back maybe as early as next week. Great catch and finish by Trimble. Bogovac's last basket was goaltended in. That means North Carolina is 7 for 7.
Hubert told us early before the game, it doesn't matter who's not available. Whoever's out there has to defend and rebound the basketball. Carolina's doing a great job of that right here so early in the first half.
Minor wraps it into Corin. Trying to take Zayden High, who holds him up well. Get the refeed, and High reaches in for Carolina's first foul.
Bogovac does a great job there. Just handling the basketball and in traffic. You want to get it up in the air to an athlete like Seth Trimble, but great catch and great finish.
Bogovac's better playmaker maybe than folks think too. 2.5 assists a game. Leads the team with a 2.5 assist to turnover ratio. Carolina has scored the last 8. Here's Minor. And a hard screen on Trimble from Corin. Corin's already hit 1 3. Make it 2. This is 10th and now 11th of the year.
We'll see if Carolina make an adjustment, maybe trying to close out to him. Zayden High is trying to back up to help on the dribble penetration from the guards. Cam Corin knocks down his second 3. They may have to readjust how they're guarding him.
Bogovac into High in the post. Mismatch Witherspoon. High finishes off the window. 8 straight makes for Carolina.
Great job there, just punishing the switch. With the lineups out there now, both teams are going to do a lot of switching 5. And great job there by Zayden High, taking advantage of the smaller defender.
Pitt has its usual starting 5 in. Minor, Witherspoon, Dunning, a great athlete, Cioletta, and Corin. Corin's going to shoot another 3, and he hits it. They didn't make that adjustment yet. You were thinking about RC. That's 3 for 3 for Corin.
Well, Dixon's switching inside, and he's fronting. So he needs to tell Zayden High, maybe deny that pass.
Came into the game 32%, 9 out of 28. Here's High at the elbow. High facing Corin. Bounce it back for Seth Trimble. Trimble over Corin. And the first miss for Carolina was well defended by the 6'10 Corin.
Cam Corin is a big guy that can defend smaller guards on the perimeter.
Dunning misses a leaner. Barry Dunning Jr. in a big game against Duke. 17 points Tuesday. And Carolina starts 8 for 9. 2 for 2 from deep. High doesn't typically shoot this. He will swirl it out. He was feeling maybe the Cam Corin effect as Corin drives it at High on the other end and gets it to go. Cam Corin has 11 of Pitt's 13. And then Minor swipes it out of Trimble's hands on the other side to prevent a breakout.
Something to keep an eye on too, Kevin, is the front line guys where the availability here is Cam Corin looking to get the basketball inside. You still backing off me. I'll knock down another. He has 3 threes here. Does a great job initiating contact so High can't try to block his shot and finish at the rim. Quick 11. He's going to need some rest. He won't be there long.
He may be there only the under 12, given their lack of depth. Kieran Mullen, the 7-foot freshman, is in as Trimble gets the friendly bounce.
The conditioning of these guys. Talked about Cam Corin. You can see he's over on the bench stretching that left ankle out. He rolled it in their last game against Duke. Didn't practice all week. Kind of walked through shoot around yesterday here.
Again, he was listed as a game time decision. He's averaging 33.5 minutes a game on the year. Cioletta. A tough finish by the freshman Roland Cioletta over Trimble. And Pitt starting to get hot from the field, back within 5.
He just does everything well. I don't know if he's great at anything, but he does everything well. High motor guy. This Pitt goes to the zone now, but you can't leave the basketball.
Can't leave Bogavats. 10 for Luka Bogavats, who had come off the bench in his last 9 games. And the Heels are now 10 for 12. Minor pull-up 3. Rebound to Dixon. On the run for UNC. Options to both wings, and Dunning slaps it out of play. Carolina better offensively without Caleb Wilson and Henry Vessar. Many are saying,
Henry who? Caleb who? You don't need those guys when you got Bogavats knocking down step-back threes. Team that we thought they were at the beginning of the season.
And that's following us here. Cam Corrin, Luka Bogavats have been the big scorers early. Corrin with 11 of Pitt's 15. Bogavats has scored or assisted 7 of North Carolina's 10 baskets. Remember, if you're just joining us, we'll remind you, we'll let you know for the first time, no Caleb Wilson today. He's out indefinitely, a broken bone in his left hand. Carolina's also without Henry Vessar, their starting 5-man. 6 since Tuesday, also dealing with a lower extremity issue. And the Heels have started 10 for 12 without their 2 best players. Trimble at the end of the shot clock misses a 3, and it's rebounded by Corrin.
That's outstanding ball screen defense there by Dunning. Getting through, getting into Bogavats, getting over the ball screen, multiple screens. That's a really good defensive effort there by the Panthers.
Mullins pass through the hands of Dunning and then off the hands of Stevenson. It will stay with Pitt as Roman Cialepa checks in for Mullen, and there are the 2 stars for Carolina on the bench. Caleb Wilson, who, by the way, was in amazing spirits before the game today. High-fiving fans, taking shots right-handed, smiling like a guy who, thinks he'll be back soon. And he does seem to think he'll be back before the end of the year. And Henry Vessar, who did not participate in warm-ups, was just on the bench dribbling for a little while. I mean, this guy, Hubert Davis, every time I ask him about Caleb Wilson,
raves about him.
Raves about his personality.
Yes.
And we saw a glimpse of that before the game. Over here greeting fans, smiling. His leadership, they think, is still going to pay big dividends for this team even while he's out.
It has. You can tell by the fast start.
Cialepa into the shot clock, then get the rim. That's a shot clock violation. What will be the biggest challenge for Carolina without Caleb Wilson? Let's assume Vessar is back soon. What will be the biggest challenge without Wilson?
I think their ability to continue to rebound. I mean, you're talking about even the Miami game, they brought rebound, they gave up 12 offensive rebounds. They lost the rebound margin by 6, lost about 12 against Duke, even though we know they wanted the buzzer. And you're missing your leading rebounder. And I think one of your more versatile defender. He was a switchable defender. And that's 2 of the areas where Carolina has been really inconsistent in. And I think that's where they're going to miss him the most.
Off a missed 3 by Dixon. Here's Dunning. He spots up and misses a 3. When we talked to Hubert Davis today about what they need to do, he didn't even mention scoring without those 2. Stevenson, having a problem scoring right now. He's got 8. He's 3 for 3, and the lead is 11.
Because Stevenson is more than capable of picking up some of the slack. I don't think any one person can do it. Now, their depth has an issue. The quality of what they can do has not changed. They're still going to be able to run that high-low action. And I think among their bigs, he's just as good a shooter as Caleb Wilson.
Corrin rattles in another 2. He is 5 for 5. He's got 13 of Pitt's 17, Cam Corrin.
Now that he's knocked down those 3 threes, Kevin, he's going to have the option of driving the basketball.
Nice feed. Dixon to Stevenson, and he misses from deep. Ryan Evans ready to check in for the Tar Heels. Cialepa way too strong. A tough start shooting for him. Bogavats for Dixon. Dixon has it knocked away by Minor, and they're both in the role of the photographers. Dunning down the court will bank it home. The first bucket for the senior Barry Dunning Jr.
That's the part of Carolina that Hubert Davis has been frustrated with. It's the live ball turnovers that are leading the baskets. You're controlling the tempo and pace of this game right now. Take care of the basketball.
Bogavats misses. Carolina's got 3 subs ready to check in now. Minor on a hard charging drive is stripped. Great hands by Trimble, who takes it all the way.
Great job there by Seth Trimble. Pitt Panthers do not want to foul. They want to rotate and try to keep it in a 6-man rotation if they can. Great job by Seth Trimble. Continue to attack the rim.
Game has been flying by. A few minutes since the last whistle. Corin into Stevenson, his first miss. Fights for the ball, and there's a whistle. It'll go against Corin, his first, and take us to a timeout.
Seth Trimble's one play you don't have to worry about on the defensive end of the floor. He's as good a on-ball defender as there is. Gets the strip, pushes in transition. You don't want to stop the ball? I'll go lay this up. Look at the finish here.
Gnarly stuff in the Big East there, guys. Thank you. Keep an eye and see how that St. John's Providence game finishes. Here in Carolina, been a much better start for the Heels, who didn't lead until the final shot of the game Saturday against Duke. Didn't lead at all against Miami. They tied it twice, but didn't take the lead on Tuesday. On paper, home versus Pitt, a much friendlier opponent, and even without Caleb Wilson and Henry Vessar, the Tar Heels got off to a great start.
They have been. They played really well. They're sharing the basketball. It's moving. They're really punishing Pittsburgh on the switches.
Here's Jonathan Powell knifing in for two more.
I think something's to be said, too, when this type of shakeup in a lineup, everybody's playing free because they know they're going to get minutes. Powell's a guy that 28 of his 39 field goals have been behind the three-point line. You close out hard trying to run him off the line. He does a great job of just driving you. Nice crafty finish at the rim there.
Ryan Evans, Jaden Young on the floor for the first time. High returns for Carolina. Powell and Trimble. Freshman Omari Witherspoon got fouled with 3.7 to shoot. Tonight, 8 Eastern, ABC and the ESPN app. The Women's College Game Day crew is in Baton Rouge at the Maravich Center. Huge game tonight. One of the biggest games in men's or women's hoops tonight. Maybe the game of the night. Number 3, South Carolina. Number 6, LSU. South Carolina has won the last 17 games, but this is going to be a big challenge for Dawn Staley's Gamecocks tonight.
That sounds unbelievable.
Well, here's the crazier thing. LSU leads the all-time series 22-21. So it was 22-4, and South Carolina can even it at 22.
Kim Mulkey and Dawn Staley there. BFFs there. It's going to be a really fun game to watch there. That'll be really competitive.
I don't know if we're going to get a Providence St. John's level brawl, but it'll be nasty.
Yeah,
physical.
It'll be physical. It'll be close.
Dunning checks in for the freshman Makari Moore. Saw Zayden High get a little treatment on his right hand there. That's what Carolina wants, another injury to a big man. Witherspoon, freshman from Bowie, hits the first free throws either team's taken in the game. None of these teams are great free throw shooting teams. And as you mentioned, neither team's going to want to foul today because they are both very thin.
Yeah. Carolina stay mostly with their man-to-man, but Pitt, you'll see change how they cover ball screens. Here they're switching.
Trimble accelerates into the lane and finishes through the contact from Cialeppa.
And that's a tough cover for Cialeppa. You're talking about one of the best athletes on the floor. He just changes speeds and goes to a gear. And he's a big-time athlete. He gets to the rim and shields him off, and nothing he can do but go through his body and foul. Pittsburgh does not want to foul with their limited bench. And right now, both of their frontline guys, Cam Corin and Cialeppa, has one foul each. If they pick up 2, you might see zone the rest of the way.
71% from the line, Seth Trimble. And he hits Carolina's first free throw attempt of the game.
Pittsburgh, can you settle down and get back in this? I mean, just run your offense. You still got enough time, but you've got to figure out how you want to attack them. And they want, right now, they're switching inside, and you have Cialeppa in a post on the guards. If not, then your guards got to attack the mismatch outside.
Witherspoon will take a tough shot instead, and he hits it. He didn't see, as you noted, Cialeppa against Evans, but Witherspoon with a skilled finish. And then nobody guards Jaden Young.
They've got to get back and set their defense. That's not this team. That's been, it feels like, the history of this program. You've got to get back, make Carolina play 5-on-5. They are as good as any team has ever been. built in the DEA of wearing that uniform. They get from the defensive end of the floor to the offensive end of the floor as quickly as anyone.
It sounds like you've experienced that before.
I have, from a player and a coach. You've got to get back. Shot goes up. If you're not going, only 2 guys go. You've got to get back, and it's just inexcusable there. You just don't match up. That's just a lack of communication. But that happens.
Sielepa, 49% free throw shooter, misses the first.
And you're fighting, you realize this. At Pitt, this point in the year, you wonder just where the psyche of this group is. You've lost 7 of 8 coming in. You've just lost so many players. You just wonder at times, what's the mental approach of some of these guys? And they're competing and they're fighting, but you just wonder if fatigue sets in eventually. And Carolina's punching them early. They have got to fight through this, try to get back in this game, get it to single digits before the half.
Trimble. Powell from the corner, knocked around and grabbed by Dunning. Here's Minor, who's yet to score. Dunning, early feed to Corin. Just lowered his elbow into High, who tried to sell it. And despite the contact, no foul. Cam Corin's got 15. Zayden High doesn't want to pick up a second foul either. Carolina's so limited in the front court.
High fell, and Cam Corin just sat there for a second, waiting to see if the officials are going to blow the whistle.
Trimble is bumped by Sielepa. That's his second. So he becomes the first player in the game with 2 fouls.
And here he gets it inside, and I think with his heels on the line, he's lucky he wasn't called for a foul.
High, you think?
I think High had his heels on the line.
Felt like time froze there for a second. Corin's saying, "You sure?"
He just paused like, all right, can we? He was expecting the whistle to blow.
Well, Cam Corin has kept Pitt hanging around here. On Tuesday, 6 points against Duke were tied for his second fewest of the year. 3 rebounds were tied for his fewest. He played 35 minutes. Big step up today for the senior from Allen, Texas.
He hadn't practiced since the game, and I'll tell you this from a player's perspective. I preferred rest at this point in the year. I feel like I didn't need as much practice. So coming into a game feeling fresh went a long way.
Now, you mentioned he didn't practice because he had a little bit of an ankle roll on Tuesday. So Pitt trying to keep him relatively fresh. He's playing 33.5 minutes a game on the year, even more of late. Minor drives it in the side of High. Corin sealed off 2 defenders, and Minor's shot rattled out.
Minor's throwing his hands up like, what more can I do?
Zayden High for 3. No good.
For Pittsburgh, you're happy with that shot. You leave that up for him all game long. And High has played well here in the first half. But I don't know how many more threes Hubert Davis wants him shooting.
Dunning throws it right to Bogovac. Pitt does get back defensively this time. Carolina's 3rd steal. It has only turned it over 4 times. Carolina only 2. UNC games typically don't feature a lot of turnovers either way. Evans had a big game at Miami Tuesday. Feeds Bogovac. Off the mark from deep.
Not a good offensive possession there. Ball stayed nearly on one side of the floor. Only changed sides once, and a lot of dribbling, not enough body movement and ball movement.
Corin again, loving that matchup with High. 17 on 7 of 8 shooting for Cam Corin. His career high's 25. He's 68% of the way there with 3.5 to go in the first half. Offensive rebound. High refeeds Young, who hits the underside of the basket and then throws it out to Bogovac. Shot clock did not reset from that second shot. And it started at 20 off the first miss. Bogovac, step back 3. Too short. And tracked down by Indrositis. Once again, we are flying by without whistles in this game.
Yeah, neither team wants to foul, and you're going to jinx us because there's going to be a foul on this possession because of what you just said.
Oh, no foul. I was right. You were wrong. Corin's first miss of the game from 3. Only 7 fouls combined. Carolina has missed its last 6 shots. Hit its first 8 today.
Let's watch High's conditioning too. I mean, you do a lot of work in practice, but when the game comes around, you're not used to playing 25, 30 minutes a game. You start gassing quickly.
Young from the logo. And these possessions are ending up in some really unusual places for Carolina. We've got a foul here. If that's on Corrin, and it is. Cameron Corrin was called for his 2nd foul before the break. And that play's been upgraded to a flagrant foul during the break. Watch number 2 on the left side of the screen. The strong upper body contact right here, crashing in. So that was the flagrant call on Corrin for the strong contact to the body of Stevenson, who goes to the line and rolls in the first free throw.
I know it's a flagrant one and it's called, but I'm telling you, when guys are running in, that's how they teach you. They tell you, you better put your body in front of his and initiate the crash. You won't see Jeff Cape will be upset with him about that. Not on the physical box out.
So Jeff Capel has both Corrin and Cialeppa, his 2 starting bigs, on the bench with 2 fouls. That means the 7-foot freshman Kieran Mullen is in the paint. Did well to alter that shot, which is then knocked out of bounds to Pitt. Mullen right there was going to redshirt this year,
yes.
But Deshaun Jackson was their big transfer from Iowa State, has not been cleared due to a medical condition and dealt with a pre-existing heart condition in his life. Papa Conte, 6'10" redshirt sophomore, has been out since the end of November, knee surgery. So Kieran Mullen had to play.
And he's a skilled guy. He's not physically ready for his strength yet, but he has good skill set. So don't be surprised. He's capable of picking and popping and shooting threes. And then passing on the move. He can do a lot of good things, but just not a physical player yet.
It's a good move by Witherspoon. The freshman's got 6. UNC has missed its last 8 after a 15 for 21 start. And you're starting to see, Randolph, a little disjointed offense from the lineup that's usually not on the floor together.
Well, their identity is playing through those bigs, and they're no longer there.
Trimble will get hit with an offensive foul here, charging into Mullen. That's Seth's first.
That's that strength I was talking about. I don't think he was trying to take a charge. I just think physically he gets hit and he goes for a ride. I don't know if I agree with the call.
Lack of strength ended up being
it could be that. Yeah, it did. It is.
I knew that there'd be something good to be thrown around like a rag doll before. Having seen it happen to me in my life enough, it's nice to see it get rewarded. Witherspoon rolls it out. Here's High flying in for the rebound. Trimble tried to break the rim and gets fouled on a ferocious dunk attempt.
Trimble is out of the blocks. When the shot goes up, I mean, he is out. Watch him in the bottom of your screen. He is gone. He catches it on the fly, and it's one dribble, and he is going to the penthouse. Nothing you can do but foul him here.
Looked like he re-elevated in the air, like he was going up for a layup and then got an extra gust of wind. Foul is the 2nd on Indricitis.
Yeah, it's just called being an athlete, something neither you or I can relate to.
Neither you or I. Yeah. I think one of us can relate to that.
Not jumping. I could shoot it. I'm jumping. That's not, that wasn't in my game.
Different kind of athlete.
Yeah, that's different.
Dribble's 2
I was a non-jumping athlete.
Sure. NCAA non-jumping athlete. When you be an athlete at Scrabble, Indricitis, he's got 2 fouls. He stays in the game because Pitch has got to play somebody. Minor in the final minute of the half. We'll give it to Witherspoon. And he gives it right back with a carry.
Yeah, that's on Minor. I know he hadn't been in here. We talked about his story, his travel, but he had Stevenson there on an isolation. With Mullen inside, I mean, he hadn't playing much. You're not going to take advantage of the switch with him, so that's on Minor. He's got to get in the paint off the bounce and make a play. Pitt going to their zone. Can they rebound out of it?
battling goaltending it. Dunning slapped Stevenson shot. Stevenson's got a dozen. You mentioned with Minor, folks just joining us, he welcomed a baby girl into the world. He and his girlfriend had a child at 1:24 in the morning. Just over 13 hours ago. He got on a commercial flight today. He made it here about an hour before game time. He came off the bench for just the second time in 125 Division I games. But he is here. Nice back cut by Indrisitis, and Dunning feeds him for Pitt.
Yes, Carolina holds for the last shot there. Great. Carolina did a really good job of defending until that last backdoor cut. Got to keep him in front. A little too aggressive there. Pitt made him pay.
Trimble in the dying moments of the first half. Spins on Indrisitis. Finds Stevenson, who is mauled with 1.9 to go.
Great pass there by Seth. Trimble gets to his spot, spins there on the baseline, elevates, and as soon as he identifies the help comes over, he lays it off to Stevenson there. Great vision.
Caleb Wilson was ready.
You know, the person that leads the nation in dunks, you know what he was going to do. He's used to getting that pass, tearing the rim down.
Carolina, which is not a great free throw shooting team, 8 for 8. There's Caleb Wilson, who has been smiling through this whole day since he was out on the court early, getting up shots with his right hand. Stevenson, perfect at the line. UNC 9 for 9 at the line in the first half. Witherspoon will step into a heave and come up woefully short.
Pace right now to play nearly 30 minutes of this game, and he hasn't done that all year long. So let's see if fatigue doesn't set in, because we saw earlier in this game Carolina did go 0 for 7 in the stretch. Can they come out to a fast start and try to put the Pitt Panthers away?
He has already played 15 minutes, which is a season high in just one half. He's already 1 rebound shy of his career. He's got 4 points, 5 boards. Dixon created space and missed the jumper. Derek Dixon did not score in that first half. He does have 4 rebounds and 2 assists.
Which is a big talking point for Hubert Davis, was getting his guards to rebound, and he and Bogovac did a really good job of cracking down, helping the bigs, and especially on the switches. They've been battling the bigs of Pitt to help out on the glass.
And there's Minor on the floor to start the second half. Witherspoon turns it over, looking for Cialeppa. For Carolina, it's Dixon, Trimble, Bogovac, Stevenson, and High, the makeshift starting 5. Henry Vessar out, has been sick, and is also dealing with a lower extremity issue. It was a game-time decision. And Caleb Wilson out indefinitely with a broken bone in his left hand.
Both teams are switching 5, Kevin, and I think Carolina's just doing a better job of attacking the paint on their switches.
Bogovac's shot was followed up, missed by Stevenson, and then Bogovac reaches in to pick up his first foul. What can Pitt do to create good shots?
The problem they're having is they're trying to attack the switch. They're getting Derek Dixon on Cialeppa, but he's not a tall guy. He's only 6'6", and Derek Dixon's 6'5", so he can't throw it over the top. There's only a 1-inch height difference that they're trying to throw it around. It's taking too much time. So I think Minor is the guy that's got to get going. And, you know, I don't know how much you can expect from a guy who's probably hadn't gotten any sleep and just traveled really late. But if he can settle down and somehow get going in this game, he has the shot making ability and the creativity off the bounce that could give UNC some problems.
There's Corin bodying High, left it short. What a high-flying rebound that was. Dunning crashed in there, and he's got 4. Just the second offensive rebound for Pittsburgh today. Dixon with an open 3. That is banked in.
Banks are open early Saturdays.
First points for Derek Dixon. Carolina 6 for 16 from 3. Tar Heels, who are an okay 3-point shooting team, have been okay today.
And lucky after that last shot.
Okay.
So that's a weird ankle to be banking in a 3 there.
You don't think he intended it?
No.
That was intended. Stevenson on the bounce from Dixon, and Jarin Stevenson with 16, 1 shy of a season high.
That's what they can do still. That is rebound and push tempo.
Cialepa on the step through, scores it for 2. He's got 7. Pitt's in the danger zone here. They've had some tough starts out of second halves recently. As SMU allowed a 9-0 run last Saturday to start the half. Duke had the first 5 on Tuesday.
When it's your day, it's your day. Derek Dixon catches it, shoots his horse shot off the glass there, puts his head down, but as you said, Carolina right now is in control offensively. They're getting every shot they want.
Nobody stepped up to defend Bogovac, to the great ire of Jeff Capel. Bogovac has a dozen. 3 Tar Heels in double figures. Witherspoon off a handoff. Deflected, not quite from Bogovac. He tried to alter the shot. It came back to Dunning for a missed 3. And Trimble tracks it down.
Got to get back in front of him.
Trimble. Bogovac. Acres of space. He misses a 3. Maybe his best look of the day.
He hit the difficult shots all game long and missed the easiest one he had all day long.
Minor on a switch with Stevenson. Passes out of it to Witherspoon. And Witherspoon is called for an offensive foul. He's picked up his 2nd and 3rd in the last couple of minutes. 3 games today here on ESPN. They are good ones. Texas Tech and #1 Arizona is the marquee game at 6:30 Eastern. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Chris Budden on the call for that one. The Wildcats no longer defeated, losing to Kansas, but they're still #1. Auburn, Arkansas, and Gonzaga against a really good Santa Clara team. Do not sleep on that 10:30 Eastern game. Santa Clara, coached by Herb Sundek, is a legitimate tournament contender.
They're a really good team, really deep team.
Could be 3 teams out of the West Coast Conference. Looking like 8 or so teams out of the ACC, and Carolina, one of them in firm control.
You see Darren Stevenson there running the floors, having himself.
March, North Carolina 6th seed right now. Virginia Tech 1st team out. Cal next 4 out. ACC only had 4 teams last year, looking to double that or more this season.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Commissioner Phillips earlier today, and all the great things that's happening in the league under his leadership. I think Virginia Tech Hokies are going to get in. I think we're going to get 9 teams in as a current record. I think Miami, that win that they got against Carolina, puts them in, and I think the Hokies are going to find a way to get in. It's a well-coached team, and I just think they're finally getting healthy at the right time.
Going to win at Clemson this week.
Yeah.
Dunning turns it over. Here's Dixon. Here's High. High flying for 2.
Dixon's not scoring, but he's seeing the floor well with his size and getting out in transition. Carolina's just doing a great job again. Hubert's got to be pleased with the effort he's getting on the defensive end of the floor. The execution may not always been great, but the effort's there.
Step back Minor, and he buries it. DeMarco Minor's first bucket as a father.
I think that shot's been there. I mean, he's a 36% three-point shooter. That's in his bag, and I think he's turned down a couple of threes on those switches.
Now we'll see if he has any dead strength. He's going to guard Stevenson in the post, and Jarin lays it off for High. A 1.6 point per game scorer has 8 in his first career start.
It takes a long time for the dad strength to kick in when you're minor. It doesn't happen that fast. He hadn't had enough time.
And his daughter, his first child, was born at 1:24 in the morning. Cialepa shakes free from Stevenson. And impressive that Minor made it here. Got here about an hour before the start of the game. Came off the bench. He does have 7 rebounds and an assist today. That was his first bucket. High again. 6 in a row for Zayden High.
Both teams right now, they're switching, and both teams know now what to do against those switches. They're just setting one screen, they're slipping, they're backdooring action right now, and let's see if someone changes that, and more importantly, will Pitt change that, because right now they're getting gashed inside with the front line guys of Carolina.
Corin into High, couldn't finish it. Dixon with another rebound, sees Trimble the whole way, so did Cialepa, who parries it out of bounds. Zayden High now 1 shy of a career high with 10.
It's amazing what happens when you get extended minutes. And he's been comfortable from the very beginning, dropping a jump hook off there and here. He's running the floor in the easy finish in transition. Look at that, his biggest cheerleader.
Trimble sneaks in between a couple of Panthers off the inbound. And Carolina has its largest lead at 20. 15 more for Trimble tonight.
Yeah, right now, Pitt struggling right now. They don't know who to look to. They've always had issues all year long scoring the basketball. They usually do a really good job defending, holding their opponents below their season average. Give Carolina a game. They've been challenged by Hubert Davis with their frontline guys being out. And they've stepped up and they've answered the call here so far. We got a lot of time left to play, but Carolina's really look good here today.
Carolina since the break, 6 assists, 7 field goals. Tar Heels are shooting 56%.
That's always a good sign. I always say when you watch the amount of field goals a team making, how many of those was assisted on, and it's always a great number to watch when you see a connected group of guys playing together.
Corin trying to assist Witherspoon, who bricks a 3. 2 heels, 1 for the rebound. Dixon's got it. He's got 6 rebounds and 6 assists today. Hubert Davis pointed out to us before the game, Dixon, Bogovats, Evans, he said 0 rebounds for his guard, 73 minutes at Miami. So Dixon with 6 rebounds is a big number for him. Trimble driving into Indrositis, draws Indrositis' 3rd foul.
They've done a really good job, I think, when the opportunities have presented themselves, because a lot of times now their guards are being switched on the front line guys. They're defending more in the post. But when the opportunity presents itself, they have crashed the glass.
First free throw miss. See if you can explain this one. Pitt, big free throw struggles as you look at Trimble, by the way. Big bounce back game today. Pitt's opponents are hitting 76.3% of their free throws.
Yeah.
So not only are they not hitting at the line, whenever they foul teams, their opponents hit from the line. That's a deadly combination.
That is. That's when you say, hey, you're fouling the wrong guys. You got to foul.
Indrositis shakes free for 2. I mean, that's not explicable to anything, is it?
No, I
can't. Teams that shoot good free throw percentages. Dixon. In the last 4 games, Pitt, by the way, has faced UVA, SMU, Duke, and Carolina. Those 4 are combined 80 and 17, 37 and 10 in the league. Hubert's not going to like some of these easy looks at the bucket. Cialeppa with another Pittsburgh layup.
Cialeppa is so strong as well, and that's a difficult ask for a guard trying to defend him in the post.
Trimble couldn't convert. Pitt trying to linger in this game, down 17. Witherspoon off the kick from Indrositis, and he was out of bounds when he caught the ball. Ninth turnover for Pitt. Carolina remains in firm control. Second half. He is out indefinitely. Carolina today, an easier opponent in Pitt, 2-10 in the league, tied for last, but they played well with Stevenson 1 shy of the season high and Zayden High 1 shy of a career high. Bogovats has been good as well, and the Tar Heels have never trailed.
Still showing flashes of things that Hubert Davis wants to clean up. Just the unforced turnovers. Still giving up a couple of offensive rebounds.
And Corin gets good position on Powell. His first bucket of the half. He's got 19. How does Carolina change, and how do teams change the way they guard them without Caleb Wilson?
I think Stevenson helps you with that because his ability to pick and pop, they're going to dictate matchups, because frontline guys now, because of his ability to score, you're going to continue to see the same coverage. You were afraid of Caleb Wilson posting you up inside. Stevenson is more dangerous on a perimeter pop, and so I expect the guards to benefit the most from that, and I think we're seeing that with Seth, Trimble, and Bogovats getting it going tonight, knocking down some shots because they're attacking the frontline guys with the switches.
Bogovats has 12. Trimble has 16. Witherspoon, by the way, just picked up his 4th, so he takes the seat. Dunning returns for Pitt. Kyan Evans way off the mark His first shot attempt of the game. It'll go back to Pitt.
I'm still a huge fan of Kyan Evans' game. I just think he needs to spend more time attacking the paint and plays out. He plays the game right now outside in, and as a point guard, I think he needs to reverse that and get more in the paint and then play his way out to the three-point line. I think he and his team will benefit from that.
Evans guarding Dunning right now. Dunning gets a step on him. Terminated the dribble. Minor lost it. And Pitt turns it over for the 10th time.
Yeah, Minor just lost that. The timing and rhythm been off all day long.
There's Trimble. Oh, man, out of a whistle. A dead ball. Carolina had a good look at the bucket.
That's happened way too many times for the Panthers. Just not getting back and setting their defense.
Minor with a three. Young with a rebound. There go the heels again. Even shorthanded, they are zipping through the tempo today as Young's three is flat. Carolina hasn't scored in about 3 minutes.
Pitt's trying to slow the tempo down, and Carolina trying to push it. And you can play fast, but you got to make shots. When you don't, you ended up spending more time on the defensive end of the floor, and got to find a way to continue to dig deep and get stops when you're not scoring.
Andrositis' miss is grabbed by Cialepa, and he is fouled by Zayden High. High's second. Tonight on ABC, Women's College Game Day at 8 Eastern, 7 Central from Baton Rouge. And in the main event, 3rd-ranked South Carolina and 6th-ranked LSU. The Tigers, who won a national title a few years ago, are trying to snap a 17-game losing streak. To South Carolina, Joyce Edwards, Flau'jae Johnson, and a whole lot of stars tonight. That will be must-see TV at 8:30 on ABC. Just embarrassment of riches we have today. Men's hoops, women's hoops, great games all weekend. Carolina women's team plays Duke tomorrow on ABC at 1 Eastern as well.
And if you're living in Carolina, great weather. Enjoy it. I know you can't say that. I'm rubbing that in you and Matt's ear. Rubbing it in your face that living in the Carolinas, you get to enjoy this nice weather. You guys get to go back to the freezing cold.
I mean, I think I'm here every other week, so it's got my second home at this point.
Well, it will be the next week or two.
That's right. Carolina gets NC State Tuesday in Raleigh. Powell bangs it home from the corner. First three for Jonathan Powell.
Pittsburgh look fatigued. They're just not getting back, matching up, and you just got to do that against Carolina.
They played 8 today. Again, Minor, who knows if he slept. Mullen and Moore really on the fringes of the rotation. Corin off the back of the iron. Cialepa, great offensive rebounder, had his shot knocked away. Here's Evans. North Carolina 51% from the game. Only 7 of 21 from deep. They have owned the paint.
Just continue to run your offense. No need to force anything.
Here's High. Looking for a career high, and he's got it. A dozen for Zayden High, who averages 1.6 points per game and has had his best game in Carolina blue. Andrositis. High went over the back, and he'll get hit with his 3rd foul.
Carolina just running their offense, running in transition there. You won't get a better look than that. You see Caleb in the background, the right hand, the good hand. Showing you his enthusiasm for the game, and High showing you patience inside. He had the mismatch the entire possession. Gets it late in the shot clock and the easy finish.
A very skilled player, High, who just hasn't played a lot. No, 2 years ago, he averaged less than 5 minutes a game.
Well, a lot of times these things, it works in your advantage. Yeah, High's not, no pun intended, he's not high on the scouting report for the other team. And then he comes in, and then now he's playing 30 minutes a game. So a lot of teams will take a look to see what he provides for this lineup, but it doesn't look like much has changed.
He set up a 3 right there for Bogavants, who's got 15. Great all-around game for Zayden High, who didn't play last year, served a 1-year suspension for an off-the-court incident. This year is averaging just over 5 minutes per game. And today he has played 24 as Corin finishes over him. Jeff Capel will take a timeout. 70-50. Some unsung heroes leading Carolina to a blowout.
One of those unsung heroes is
North Carolina trying to move up from 7th.
I can't imagine any bracket not having those two teams in their Final Four as of right now. Should be a great matchup.
Give me your top 4 title contenders right now.
I would say those two, and I would add UConn in the mix, and I would say Arizona.
Well, we're going to another break, so you got that in perfect time, and we'll be submitting that for Randolph Childress' Sports Emmy Reel. Yeah, they started the week with a win, Zubin, with a major performance from Michael Brown Jr. ACC freshman record. 45, he hit 10 threes as Louisville destroyed what had been a pretty hot NC State team on Monday night.
Yeah, you saw the emotion from Michael Brown. So he's been through a lot with the back injury. And of all the freshmen, they've had signature moments all year long, and he let you know why he's considered a lottery pick in the upcoming draft as well.
Hard fall here. Makari Moore for Pitt on the left. Jarin Stevenson for Carolina on the right.
And everybody's got to get up. The coaching staff So both teams doesn't want to see any more injuries. No more illnesses. They want everybody to start this game to finish this game.
No more lower extremities. Moore took the worst of it.
Yeah, he did.
And he got hit with a foul, his second. You mentioned Caleb Wilson. Henry Vessar is next to him today. Vessar is out dealing with illness, and we're told with a lower extremity issue that Carolina continues to monitor. See if Hubert Davis has more word post-game. UNC's next game is Tuesday at NC State. Hard to imagine going into that game without Wilson and Vessar. But they have played very well without those two today, albeit again a Pitt team that's 2-10 in the league. There are the two Carolina stars. All-America type players, maybe the best front court in the country. Cialepa lays it in. He's got 14.
Some of the issues that Carolina has are just inevitable with all the switching that they do. You put guards inside battling against bigs. Sometimes you're going to need help coming down to help you with that. And giving up offensive rebounds when you switch is inevitable at times when you do as much switching as they're doing. Because, you know, when they switch down, you got your guard down there battling the front line guy.
Bogovats misses high. Oh, he hit the side of the basket, and he got tripped up on the way down by Cialepa.
Looked like he didn't know where he was. When he elevated to shoot that, he was behind the backboard. But when you're going for career highs, it doesn't matter. You're playing yourself into a heck of a game here. He's played really well.
He's got a career high 12 points high. He's now got a career high 7 rebounds.
He's also gassed too. A couple times you can see him putting his hands on his hip.
26 minutes. That's more than his 2 highest minute totals of the season combined. Well, that's a career high. 2 assists have tied a career high as well. Jarin Stevenson, one off of a season high with his 16. Bogovats, 15. His season high is 19. His ACC high is 16. So Stevenson high and Bogovats have been asked to do a lot more today. And they have delivered.
Absolutely. You asked for the group project, everybody participate and help out, and they have.
Idrisitis with a 3 for Pitt. Now, Pitt's shorthanded. Pitt's 2-10. Pitt's has had a nightmare of a season. So how much can you take away from this game that's applicable to playing NC State, playing Louisville, playing Clemson, playing Duke?
One, you can only play, obviously, the team is playing in front of you, but they're taking care of the basketball, which is something they're going to have to do against NC State. You got to turn them into a half-court team. And they're doing a great job, I think, of just sharing the basketball, taking advantage of the switching. They're still going to be doing a lot of those things against NC State. That's not a big team. They do a ton of switching themselves.
He's got 15. And you're right, Darren Lubin, former Carolina big man, of course, is the 5 for NC State. It's 6'8".
Yeah, absolutely.
They have knockdown shooters, NC State. They're a really good team. They don't have a ton of size either, like Pitt.
No. And I think that bodes for in Carolina's favor. But it's in Raleigh, and that place will be rocking.
Be an easy sellout at the Lenovo Center. Corin with 23. He's tied a season high, and he's 2 shy of a career high. That game is Tuesday at 7 Eastern on ESPN, UNC and NC State. It will be one of the more hotly anticipated Carolina-NC State games, probably of the 21st century, with Will Wade at NC State.
The Pack is back.
Looking like tournament teams.
Yeah, the Pack is back. I tell you what, if I'm on the guards of Carolina, what I like, the adjustment I'd like to see is that battling it inside against those bigs. I prefer to get into the ball and get over, and you just show and allow me to stay on a guard. Battling a big sometimes, even though I do like the size. Derek Dixon at 6'5", and the physical guard provides that. But he's also had his challenges in there competing against those guys. Because you also, even if the guards attack your bigs, you got to battle on the glass, and that's just not something you want to do a lot.
Didn't need to hit the glass here. Stevenson with a season high 19. 6 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, and perfect on 4 free throws.
You may not see this type of 20-point game performance from him, but I think you will see some consistency. His numbers will increase with Caleb Wilson out.
He leads the way with 4 double-figure scores for Carolina. They haven't trailed. Face felt a hurricane on Tuesday night, guys, and that Virginia Tech loss. This is, if they lose, they're down to 18 now. This is the current bracketology from Joe Lunardi's second team out. Florida State's playing really well of late. They've been one of the better teams in the ACC the last couple of weeks. That's still going to be a quad 3 loss at home. It's just a killer to throw into your resume in mid-February, and they'll probably need a couple of really good road wins, maybe even here in a couple of weeks, to overcome that.
You know what's unfortunate about that? It's Virginia Tech right now where they side on the bubble. Is those 3 losses at the buzzer that they faced throughout early in the year. If they had won, they would say 2 of those, we're not having this conversation.
They lost on a Boopie Miller half-court shot at SMU. That would have been a quad 1 win. They're probably in the projected field if they win that game alone. They lose at Wake late. Nate Kalmisman. They've just had so many tough late game losses this year. And the good news about the ACC is you'll have more chances to pick up a good one.
But those losses like that are brutal when you're right on the bubble.
Here's High. Career high 15-7 for Zayden High today. He's played 28 minutes. No Henry Vessar. Illness and lower extremity issues. No Caleb Wilson out indefinitely. They hope he'll be back before the end of the year with a broken bone in his left hand.
Now that Carolina's made the adjustment, they're trying to stay big on big, so they're showing more. This, I think, helps the guards and helps them rebound. But the guards have got to fight and get over the screens to eliminate shots like that.
Dunning fired into 3, leads at 14. North Carolina has never trailed today. They never led at Miami. They never led against Duke until the final shot from Seth Trimble in the game. 4/10 of a second to go, but they have never trailed today. 18 assists, just 4 turnovers for UNC, which has the best assist to turnover mark in Carolina history right now. Trimble has his shot parried away to Dunning. Pitt needs a quick basket here, probably a 3, and Dunning won't get it. Dixon with his career high 7th rebound.
Carolina in the half court, they're running a lot of their ball screen motion offense, just flowing into it, and just continue to move the basketball to take advantage of the switches. Right now you got High inside. They're running a lot of isolation right now with Seth Trimble.
Trimble is fouled. He'll go to the line for 1-and-1. North Carolina's women's team goes to Duke tomorrow on ABC and the ESPN app at 1 Eastern, followed by number 4 Texas, a great Madison Booker, and Tennessee. That Duke-Carolina game, boy, in a year where the men's game was a classic, the women's game could be a classic as well. Duke is 13-0 in the league right now. UNC is 10-3 and has won 8 straight. Carolina women beat SMU Thursday 94-42. Their largest ACC win in program history. India Navarre is a phenomenal player, one of the stars of that matchup tomorrow.
Tar Heels are looking to get that out. You don't like to say must wins. They rank teams. It's good. If you want to put pressure on the Dukes, you got to find a way to win that one.
Duke, which did not have a great non-conference, has rolled in ACC play. The only team to beat Louisville in the league this year. Warren turns it over. That's Pitt's 12th turnover. Jeff Capel just hoping to get some healthy bodies soon. He's not going to have Deshaun Jackson or Papa Conte the rest of the year. Brandon Cummings, their leading scorer, is a real doubt to return with an ankle injury. It's just been one of those nightmare seasons pretty much from the start for Pitt, which lost a ton from last year, lost its big transfer portal addition before he even played a game, and they're going to be 2-11 in the league. They are a real doubt right now to even make the 15-team ACC tournament. 3 teams get left out of the postseason tournament. They have a great recruiting class coming in next year. And they have hope for the future, but this has just been a year where about everything's gone wrong for Pitt.
The recruiting of freshmen is not the issue. The issue for Cable is going to be the financial support and what they're able to do in the NIL, which is just part of college basketball. And I think you can say that about any team and every team in the league, but definitely more so for the Pitt Panthers.
Trimble at the end of the shot clock. Gets his own miss back. spins around, and he gets fouled. But we don't have public NIL data out there. It's believed that Pitt is very much in the lower end of ACC programs in terms of NIL.
Kevin, I think teams have to, when you start talking about opportunities in the league, I think that's how you have to rate where you are in the league, to give yourself realistic expectations. And coaching does matter, but I think the first thing that matters is how much money are you willing to invest in your program.
And for a couple of years, it seemed like Pitt had turned the corner. They made the tournament 3 years ago. 2 years ago, they were very close. Last year, Pitt got up to this great start. They were a top 25 team. Started 3-0 in the ACC. Then won just a couple of ACC games the rest of the way. They started 3-0. They went 5-12 down the stretch. Crashed out in the first round of the ACC tournament. And they're going to drop to 2-11 in the league this year.
Well, one of his recruits is a very expensive player that he's out right now, but he went to Kentucky, and Jalen Lowe.
Would have been Pitt starting point guard again, was last year. Final minute of play. Louisville and Baylor coming up. Michael Brown Jr. and the Cardinals were a team with amazing potential. 3 for Dunning is good. Harry Dunning Jr. into double figures.
That Louisville team, I think, is scary because I think they're the most dangerous team because they have elite shooting. And when they're knocking down shots, they scare anybody.
Pat Kelsey thought that was a team that could make the Final Four when they got Michael Brown. They haven't looked like it much of the year, but they're starting to now.
If they can get some production out of their 4 and 5 spots, some consistency, look out. That team could be scary in the tournament.
Trimble gets the offensive rebound and will pull it out with a shot clock off. So North Carolina in its first game without Caleb Wilson, and somewhat surprisingly, its first without Henry Vessar, leads wire to wire. And Hubert Davis